Welcome everyone to tonight's episode of Dead Talk Live. I'm your host Viz from Walking Dead Now. Our broadcast tonight and every night is simultaneously live streamed to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to welcome all our first-time viewers. We hope you can join us for the next hour and participate in our viewer interactive show. And a very big thank you to all of our regular viewers. I'm glad all of you are here with me tonight. If you haven't already done so, we ask that if you enjoy our broadcast as well as our custom videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel called Walking Dead Now. For more information on our show, please visit our website located at deadtalklive.com. As always, our producer Marko is going to be handling the text chatting, and I will be talking to you guys live on the air. So how is everyone doing tonight? Hello Saz, hello Nicholas, hello Hard Productions on YouTube, hello to all our friends on Instagram. Ismail, how are you doing, Ismail? We have Stacy Carson joining us on Instagram. Gabby's joining us on Instagram. I hope everyone is enjoying their evening. It is Tuesday. I keep forgetting the day. It is Tuesday, May 26th, and we are 48 hours away from our Michael Cudlitz, aka Abraham, joining us on our show, Dead Talk Live. Is everyone excited for that special guest interview? Hello to Carlos on Facebook. Thank you for joining us, Carlo. Hola, Gabby, sorry. Big Body Eric 5 is joining us on Instagram. So yeah, guys, we're 48 hours away from the Abraham interview, and we are all psyched. You guys are psyched. Me and Marko are psyched. Full of excitement. So I just want to let everyone know on how the show is going to go on Thursday night, because I want to get as many viewer questions as we possibly can asked. So I'm assuming Thursday we are going to have a jam-packed audience. Okay, I don't know how many. It could be just a few more. It could be 10 times more. I have no idea how many people are going to show up on Thursday for our broadcast. I have recruited some extra help for that evening. Marko, at least for the interview part, is not going to be handling the text chatting. I've recruited somebody else for that. They are going to be directing the show that evening. Marko is going to have his hands full with some other stuff, and he'll probably be joining us on the phone as well as we talk to Mike. We're obviously not going to be able to get to everyone's questions, but here are some tips on the best ways to increase your chances of getting your questions asked to Michael Cudlitz. Okay? First of all, please don't ask when the finale is going to air. I seriously doubt he knows, and we're not going to waste whatever time we do have with him asking him questions that even if he does know the answer to, he can't answer it. He can't let us know. But I doubt he even really knows. I doubt any of the cast knows. So please, don't waste your questions asking him when the finale is going to air. We're not even going to bring that up to him. No questions about Rick coming back to the show. No, we're here to talk about Abraham that night. I would love for you guys to think of fresh, unique questions that you really don't see celebrities get asked over and over again. I want this to be a very fresh interview with information that we can't, read by doing a simple Google search. So let's try to keep the questions fresh. Hello, Jose on Instagram, thumbs up. Carlos has joined us on Instagram. Ahmed has joined us on Instagram. Big Body Eric is saying, hold up, I'll be right back. All right, buddy. Ismail, with all due respect, is he still considered cast? Don't get me wrong. He is not part of the active cast, but he has directed several episodes after he left the cast. Hi, TGARZ 2019 is joining us on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. So Ismail, Marcos Gamer Phoenix is joining us on YouTube. Hello, Marcos. Hey, Summer. How you doing, Summer? So, yeah, Marco just said he's directed 3 episodes. He has been a part of the crew after he left the show. And I'm sure, we've all seen the Abraham and Eugene commercials. So even though he's not part of the active cast anymore, I believe he's still very, very much involved with the show. And we're going to probably ask him that on Thursday. How involved is he? I would love to find out. We know he's directed. We know he's done those commercials. Beyond that, I want to know how further involved he is still with the show. Toby writes, I'm not going to stay too long. Oh, that's sad, Toby. Roman4486 has joined us on Instagram. Waving back at you, Roman. Thank you for joining us. So, yeah, think of some fresh questions. We are going to have somebody who is going to be monitoring the chats. I've recruited somebody. And they are going to be hand-picking questions that basically just match the criteria that I mentioned to you. They are going to be hand-picking questions from our viewers, relaying them to us through a special set up bat line. That's what I call it, the bat phone. They're going to be relaying us the questions, and we're going to be reading them off to Mike, as well as our own questions. And like I said, guys, I don't know how much time he has to spare for us. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 20 minutes. I don't know. We're just excited as hell to have him on the show, and we're deeply grateful for him agreeing to be on our show. I think it's amazing. Ismail writes, that will be great, Viz. Yeah, we're super psyched about that. It's going to be an awesome show, Also, this Thursday, we are going to be, since we're having Michael Cudlitz on our show, we're going to be revealing our final action figure. We have come to the end. I can't believe we're almost at the 3-week mark. Yeah, we're going to be revealing our final action figure. And I've narrowed it down to 2. And it's either going to be Rick or Negan. We only have one of them. And it's either going to be Rick or Negan. So you won't find out until Thursday. But it's one or the other. So you have to tune in. On Thursday, I will post it. Hey, Carter Lawrence, thank you for joining us on Instagram. Someone writes, I want to know what he did to prepare for the character Abraham. That's a good question. That's a great question, Summer. Marco had a great question as well. And yeah. Those are the types of questions that we want to see. But Ismail writes, but don't you think we should wait another day to debut the action figure because we'll be preoccupied with Abraham? Well, if he's going to join us for like the whole hour, which I seriously doubt, then yeah, we're not going to be revealing. We're not going to be doing an action figure that day. We're going to be adjusting on the fly on Thursday. So if he's with us for a long time, which would be amazing, that would be fabulous, then obviously we're going to push back the action figure to Friday. So, I mean, that's not set in stone. But if he's only going to be with us for, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or however long, then we'll have more than enough time to premiere that final action figure and be able to do a trivia question as well. And also, just to let you guys know as well, while we have Michael Cudlitz on the phone, we are not going to be accepting phone calls from our viewers. I know that sucks, But if everybody starts calling in, my fear is it's going to crash my Skype app while we're on the phone with Michael Cudlitz. And that would really suck. That would really, really, really suck. So while we have Michael Cudlitz on the phone, we're not going to be accepting viewer call-ins for that portion. So please use the chat to ask your questions. Somebody's going to be monitoring all the chats, and they're going to be relaying to us hand-picked questions. So, yeah, we're just thinking ahead to try to make Thursday go as smooth as possible. We have not been doing this for years. Okay, guys, we have not been doing this for years. We're not like seasoned broadcasters. And we're just trying to think of any possibilities, any things that could go wrong, try to plan ahead for them. Of course, as with any live show, you never know what to expect. You never know what to expect. And that's why I love doing the show live. Because anything and everything can happen. That's exactly why I love doing this show live. So moving on to some other stuff. Zambika37, my question is for Abraham. Did he ever think his character would be friends with Eugene's character? That's great. That's great. I love these questions, but you guys are going to have to wait till Thursday. We're not jotting these down. Well, Marko is like primarily in charge of putting together questions. So Marko, I hope you're taking note of some of these great questions that are being brought up today, Marko, and jotting them down, because we're getting some great questions today. Ismail writes, doesn't Michael Cudlitz live in America? Why would he need Skype? No, he doesn't need Skype. He doesn't need Skype. I use Skype for the show, whether you're calling from America or not. In order for me to broadcast the phone calls, I need to use a program like Skype, so I've chosen Skype to broadcast the phone calls on air. He can use whatever phone he wants to call us in, as well as anybody in the United States. But what I'm saying is, if I start getting a whole bunch of calls onto my Skype app, it's going to crash my Skype app. So that's why we're not going to be accepting viewer call-ins. Viewer call-ins while he's on. Yeah, he's not gonna use Skype. He's gonna use whatever phone he wants to call us in. So moving on to some other stuff here. I have decided to switch this live stream over to a video live stream of me broadcasting the show. There are several things / obstacles that need to be dealt with before that can become a reality. Chicken has joined us on Instagram. Thank you for joining us, Chicken. Jaber0701 has joined us on Instagram. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We have a nice crowd tonight. A nice big crowd with us. Summer writes, cool. Yeah, I've decided to switch this over to a video stream of me broadcasting the show. Like I said, there are several things that need to happen before that can become a reality. I'm just going to list through a few of them, just so you know why, like tonight, I'm not all of a sudden just doing this on video. It's not that simple. From the beginning, this has always been done with, me, like a radio type broadcast, and the video portion is me broadcasting slides, pictures, the universal chat that you guys see on your screens right now. So some of the stuff that I need to do before I can make this video broadcast become a reality is the space that I use to do this stream has extremely poor lighting. I mean, extremely poor. It's me, my wife, and 3 kids that live in our house. It's a nice, spacious 3-level townhouse. But yeah, in order for me to carve out a niche, over a decade ago, I picked a little corner in a very remote room, and I literally just have like a, maybe 6 by 3 feet section of the room that I have called my office for a decade, and that's where I'm doing this stream. And it has extremely poor lighting in here, but it gives me the privacy and the quiet that I need if when I need to work. This is way before I even started this live stream. So I need to get more lighting in here, or else the quality is just going to be very piss poor. Whether it's bringing in an electrician to add more overhead lights, or getting some professional video lighting positioned in here. Hey, IZA on Instagram, waving back at you. Thank you for joining us. Ubra's joined us on Instagram. Zambika37 writes, hopefully AMC will change that. Oh, I'm hopeful too, Zambika. Keeping my fingers crossed. The second thing is I want to add a really nice physical background from where I'm sitting. Some family members have suggested like a CGI type thing with a green screen. I have seen that done on YouTube, and I don't like it. It looks really cheesy. I just don't like it. I don't want my show to look cheesy, and it looks really cheap, cheesy. I don't want to offend the people that are doing it now on YouTube. This is not in any way, a jab at you. But I just personally don't like how that looks. It would be the easiest solution. Just get a green screen and flash continuous Walking Dead stuff in my background. I'd rather get a nice solid physical background to use for my show. Ismail also writes, I don't like it too. Please don't. Yeah. Hey, Jackson, what's up? What's up, Jackson, on Instagram? Thank you for joining us. So yeah, I don't want to have a cheap, I don't want to have a CGI background. I want to have a physical background. Now, preferably, I would love to go to one of these like printing places and get this big, huge Walking Dead billboard done to use as my background. But I'm assuming that's going to be like very expensive. So that's probably, even though that would be my, Carter2121 is joining us. Hey, Carter, on Instagram. So even though that would be my preference, it's probably going to be a little too expensive, at least to start out with. So it's probably going to be something else. So that's something I need to figure out as well. And then, I need to figure out the limited screen real estate that Instagram provides. Instagram is designed primarily for mobile devices. As I'm sure all of you on Instagram are viewing this, you're on your mobile device. So I have very limited real estate. Now you guys watching this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you can see that I have a whole 1080p screen up, but the people on Instagram don't get to see that. That's why I have to put everything in the center so the Instagram people can see the stuff that I have up. Nerd on Instagram is telling us my favorite Abraham quotes. I don't give a monkey's left nut. There's a vast ocean of shit that you people don't even shit about. Rick knows every fine grain of shit and then some. Oh, yeah, I love those. And you know what? Since you brought up that I don't give a monkey's left nut, I have that. I don't know if you've heard me play it, but I'm going to play that again right now. Where is it at? Here we go.
I don't give a monkey's left nut.
There you go. One more time.
I don't give a monkey's left nut.
I love that one. I love it. I love that. Ismail writes, talking about this screen. Arthur Mendez, 146 is joining us. Hi, are you streaming from where? I'm streaming from the Washington, D.C. area in the United States. That's where I'm located. I'm near the Washington, D.C. area in the U.S. Hey, XO on YouTube, what's up? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining our live stream. Man, we really do have a nice crowd tonight. So yeah, the background, the limited screen real estate, that's not going to be such a big deal. I just got to find a way because I don't want to get rid of these slides. I definitely don't want to get rid of this universal chat because the people on Instagram, because of Instagram rules, they are isolated from what the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter people are saying. So me providing that universal chat to the Instagram people lets them see what the other social media outlets are saying. So Arthur Mendez writes, in what platform, who's the quarantine? What do you mean, Arthur? So yeah, I don't want to get rid of my slides. I love my slides. I love them. And I love this universal chat. I just have to find a way to squeeze it all on Instagram. And you guys who are watching this on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, on Instagram, like the whole bottom 50% of the screen is the chat section. So I have like half of what Instagram offers because I want everybody to be able to see the chats. And whenever I put on like a picture that has a really bright background, I have a hard time viewing the Instagram chats. So that really sucks. So I got to find a way to manage the real estate that Instagram gives us. Arthur writes, how is the quarantine in the USA? It sucks, Arthur. We've been cooped up for a very long time. Micah has joined us on Instagram. Fern898 has joined us on Instagram. May Hema has joined us on Instagram. Big Body Yerk is back. We're just going over the video live stream, Body. He's asking, what did I miss? We're just going over the stuff that I'm going to need to do before I switch this over to a video streaming broadcast of me doing basically where you guys get to see me do the broadcast live. So anyway, once I work out all those obstacles, we will be switching over to a video live stream. That Instagram poll, I don't know if you guys saw it last night that I posted or very early this morning on Instagram about asking you guys if I should switch to a video live stream. That was meant to be as a joke to all of our loyal viewers who join us every night. And the whole thing about the beard. Hey, Cortisol19 on Instagram, thank you for joining us. That poll was just meant to be a joke. XO on YouTube writes, Walking Dead, best show on this planet. No discussion. Yes, very much agree there, XO. So that poll I posted on my Instagram story was just meant to be as a joke to our inside viewers and so on. That's where I posted it. But last time I checked, it was like 83 or 84% liked the idea of me switching this over to a video broadcast as opposed to the 16 to 18% who answered hells no. You know, so I wanted to make it very clear if they were just the kind of iffy no, don't do it, or a big hells no, don't do it. So about 16 to 18% answered hells no, but 82 to 84% of you answered yes. So majority rules. Ismail writes, we're really sad we didn't see the Rick beard. Yeah, that had to go. I mean, Marko, me and him, even though we haven't physically seen each other in months, we've been FaceTiming. And Marko, just tell them they're not missing anything. I look like a Neanderthal. So I'm just glad it's gone. I feel like I have my face back. So... Roka Fifi on YouTube writes, when will the last episode be released? We don't know. We have no idea, Roka, on YouTube. No one knows yet. No one knows. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Red Martineau has joined us on Instagram. Drippy has joined us on Instagram. So going on to Walking Dead news. Norman's, speaking of the finale, Roka, you'll appreciate this. Norman Reedus revealed to Entertainment Weekly that the finale that we're all waiting for, according to him, quote now, will be Game of Thrones Super War Battle. He also goes on to say that it's going to be legendary with an epic battle. And the reason why I chose to use Norman's quotes is because, going from past experience, Norman Reedus is a very reliable source. And when he says an episode is going to be epic, I believe him. Turcot244 has joined us on Instagram. Abby has joined us on Instagram. Welcome, guys, to our show. So yeah, going from past experience, when Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl, hypes a particular episode, then he truly believes that it's going to be a historic episode. And I take his words very, very seriously. Very seriously. XO writes, what is my Instagram? My Instagram account is walking.dead.now. Very simple to remember. Walking.dead.now. So yeah. And besides XO, you're on YouTube right now. If you look in the description of this current video, all my social media links are in the description. All of them. So you can check out all of our entire social network. Lenny has joined us on Instagram. Fuyundiana has joined us on Instagram. Abby has joined us on Instagram. So yeah. Trivia contest, okay? As I mentioned briefly, we've revealed today, let me bring it up, Carl Grimes and Michonne. Carl Grimes and Michonne. Marko wants me to get to the trivia. So yeah, these are the two action figures that we released today. We only have one left. And that is probably going to be released Thursday. If Thursday is really busy because of our interview, it'll be released on Friday. And I'm going to let you guys just keep guessing if the last one we have, if it's Rick or if it's Negan. So, and then we have poor old Gareth. That's right, Ismail. Santiago says nice. Yes. Oh, Santiago is XO from YouTube. Good, I'm glad you found us. Daly has joined us on Instagram. Dexter has joined us on Instagram. Santiago writes, keep up the great content. Thank you. Thank you, Santiago. That really means a lot. Your guys' opinion really means a lot. Hard Productions writes, release Negan on Thursday. Perfect for our guest. I didn't say I had Negan. I said it's either Negan or Rick. I have one or the other. I don't have both. I don't have both Rick and Negan. I have one or the other. And I'm not going to tell you guys which one. I'm not going to tell you guys which one till the day of the release. But it's one of those two. Hard Productions is assuming it's Negan. Okay. Hard Productions on YouTube has staked his claim. He has stepped forward and he thinks that we have Negan. So, all right. We are, wow, 30 minutes into the broadcast. Sorry, guys, but I had to make all those announcements today. I apologize. It's taken 30 minutes for me to get through all that. Ismail writes, don't post it. Let the suspense. No, I like posting it. And it also makes, to be honest, it makes more people tune in. You know what I mean? This is the action figure we've been holding out for the last one since we started this contest. And yeah, I'm going to announce it, not days in advance. I'm going to announce it a few hours before showtime like I always do. Santiago writes, Negan is the best character since Rick left the show. So yeah, I agree with you, Santiago. So you guys ready for tonight's trivia question? Let me bring up our contact info. Wrong one. This one. There you go. For those of you joining us for the first time, Your answer to the trivia can only be called in. Chatting in the answer does not qualify. You'll probably end up giving away the right answer if you do know it to someone else. The only way you can win today's trivia is by calling in. And the number for our U.S. residents is 718-509-9270. For our international viewers, use your Skype app. Search for us by the name Walking Dead Now. We're the only ones on Skype with that name. Add us to your favorites so you don't have to go searching for us again. And the call is 100% free for our international viewers. In the United States, you can use any phone you want. The number is 718-509-9270. Hey, Toby. Oh, bye, Toby. You're leaving us. All right, Toby. Thanks for joining us tonight. Deacon has joined us on Instagram. Inter Roma has joined us on Instagram. Okay, so let's get to tonight's trivia question. All right, tonight's trivia question, guys, here it goes. During the search for missing Sophia, the gang finds a tent with a dead camper inside. On the camper's lapel, he is wearing a button. What does the button say? Okay, let me repeat the question. During the search for missing Sophia, which we all know is season 2, the gang finds a tent with a dead camper inside. On the camper's lapel, he is wearing a button. What does that button say? Andrew Valentine 712. I know it. Well, call Andrew. The number is 718-509-9270 if you're in the U.S. If you're international, use Skype. Search for our name, Walking Dead Now, and call us. First one to call with the right answer gets to pick their action figure. So call us. Andrew, don't give away the answer on chat. Because if you don't call, someone else will probably use your answer. We are only accepting the answer through phone call. So while I'm waiting for somebody to call in with the right answer, I'm going to continue with our topic for today, which is basically I want to pick up where we left off yesterday on the leadership that we've seen throughout the seasons on The Walking Dead. Yesterday, we spent a lot of time on Gregory. Santiago writes, let me play the episode on Netflix. Well, we don't have a caller yet, so first one to call, you have until the end of the show. So you have about 25 minutes to get the answer. So yesterday we talked a lot about Gregory and what kind of a weasel he was. Today I want to talk about Jadis. As we all know, Jadis was in charge of the scavengers, the community, that lived in the junkyard. And we later find out that her real name is Anne. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm just keeping a close eye on the phone lines to make sure I don't miss a call. Now, from what we do know, well, let me go to what the Walking Dead Wikipedia page describes Jadis as. They describe her as an antagonist. I have never really seen Jadis/Anne as an antagonist. She wasn't evil. Traitor, yes. Backstabber, yes. Now, what we do know about her is that pre-apocalypse, she liked to frequent junkyards to create her sculptures. Oh, we do have a caller. Welcome, you're on Dead Talk Live with Viz. What's your name?
I'm Nerdiest Geek on Instagram. I was on the live earlier.
Hey, Nerdiest Geek on Instagram. So, would you want me to repeat the question, or do you have an answer for us?
I have an answer.
All right, let me hear it.
No excuse for domestic violence.
Congratulations, Nerdiest Geek on Instagram. You are tonight's winner. Very well done. Very well done. And you are going to have a tough decision here because I'm going to bring it up. You have to pick one of these three action figures as your prize. Gareth from Terminus, Carl Grimes. Now, let me just, before you pick, some of you guys, just turn down the broadcast from the background because there is a little bit of a 10-second delay and it's causing some feedback. So you can play it back when it's on archived after the show. But are you still there with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Carl comes with his medical kit, the knife, of course, the sheriff's hat, and this is season 3, season 4. Carl, if you look to the right of him, on next to his left arm, what that is keys to the prison. So his action figure comes with keys to the prison, his dad's sheriff's hat, a knife, and the medical kit bag that he had in seasons 3 and 4. Now, the Michonne action figure comes with her katana. And if you guys can't really see this in the picture, I actually had to, I had the action figure so I could see it. But on the lower left-hand corner, what that little thing is that you guys probably can't make out on your screens, it is the faces of her 2 pet walkers. I mean, how cool is that? It's like not only the faces, it's their heads. It's the heads of her 2 pet walkers that were introduced with her at the end of season 2. That's what makes this Michonne action figure really, really special. Because not only are you getting the Michonne action figure, you're getting the heads of the 2 pet walkers as well. So, what is your pick there?
I think I'll go for the Michonne figure.
Michonne, she's all yours. Congratulations. Everyone on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and on Instagram, they are congratulating you. Congratulations for coming up with the correct answer and being tonight's trivia winner. So what I would like you to do is after tonight's broadcast, if you head on over to our YouTube page and just look up on any one of our videos or on the About page of our YouTube channel, it has my email address listed. Just make sure after tonight's episode you email me all your shipping information, including your name and, your shipping address. And if you want a phone number as well.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Oh, well, congratulations again. And thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. Okay, there. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me.
No
Bye.
problem. No problem. So there you go. Nerdiest Geek on Instagram was today's winner. Good night, Sambika. Thank you for joining us tonight. Santiago on Instagram writes, wow. Yeah, Michonne figure is more detailed. Yeah, I really wanted to explain that to you guys because you can't make it out in the pictures. And to her lower left, you're getting the 2 heads of her pet walkers. That makes this action figure extra special. So let's go back to Jadis. Let's see, where did I leave off? Okay, so pre-apocalypse, she liked to frequent junkyards. We all know how she likes to do her sculptures from people's trash. Do you guys remember the episode where she wanted Rick to pose for her naked? How many of you guys remember that? I thought that was really hysterical. And she was also a school teacher. And this plays some significance because during, as a teacher, she took her students on a field trip to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. And that is why the group in the season premiere of season 9, they trek into Washington, D.C., which is so far has been the only time that we've seen the actual city of Washington completely CGI'd, by the way. I mean, it's complete CGI. but in the beginning of season 9, that's why they go to the Smithsonian Museum to raid it, because she's been there before, and she knew that they had a lot of cool stuff they could use, like the plow. And that's also where Ezekiel nearly fell through the glass floor and almost became Walker Dinner. Ismail writes, man, that deer CGI gives me the chills. Yeah. Vale writes, hi. Hi, Vale on Instagram. Thank you for joining us, Vale. Thank you for joining us tonight on Instagram. So, hold on a second. I screwed up my Instagram feed. There we go. Jadis wanted to... Santiago, I'm not going to repeat that on the air. So, anyway, that's why they made it a point to tell us that she was a teacher. That's why they go to the Smithsonian, the beginning of season 9, is to raid it for supplies. And more importantly, they went to raid it for something else as well, but I'm not going to mention that right now. So every community that we have been introduced to on this show has been unique in various ways. But the garbage people, which is what Negan called them, they were just flat out the most bizarre. Hard Production writes, I hate Jadis. The one good thing she did was saving Rick. I didn't hate her. I didn't love her. Summer writes she remembers that whole scene. Short123 is laughing on Instagram. So anyway, to me they were just like the most bizarre. I mean, completely out there, weird in their language, their behavior, their body language. We also find out that Jadis has never been completely honest with her own group. Somewhere along the line, Jadis came across the CRM, and she started trading people who we now know are being used for human experiments in exchange for supplies and so on. And that's where the whole labeling of A's and B's started. And we still, as fans, don't know what the A means and what the B means. We know Rick was a B. She thought Father Gabriel was an A. But I've tried to figure it out, and we still don't have a real clear answer on what that classification really means. Santiago writes, I'm convinced she will appear in the Rick movies. Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt about that. And maybe in the series finale. Maybe. Ismail writes, I don't like the garbage people at all. Would have gone better without them. No use at all. Well, they played a vital role. Rick thought he was going to put an end to Negan, and they would have if Jadis didn't betray them. All Jadis needed to have was a little faith in Rick that he could have destroyed Negan right then and there with the bomb in the car when he was on the outside gates of Alexandria. But no, her and Negan struck a deal, and she betrayed Rick. And all the scavengers that were inside Alexandria, it turned out to an all-out gun battle. And Michonne got almost killed. Her and that scavenger got in that fight. They kicked the living shit out of each other. That was epic. So that's also when Maggie started coming in. That's when we saw also the Kingdom come in. Basically, you could say that was the beginning of All Out War. That's when Rick, fired not the first shot. Negan fired the first shot. But that's when Rick really fired back at Negan. Didn't go the way he planned, but at the end of the day, I would call it a victory for Rick's group right there. And Ismail also writes, and maybe she thought Gabriel was an A because she didn't know he started losing sight. Possible. Right now, any theory is plausible as far far as what the A's and the B's mean. Because I honestly don't have an idea. But, you know, Jadis got she got a real big smackdown to reality when Psycho Simon comes in and eradicates the scavengers. All of them. Except for Jadis, because she was smart enough to play dead. She was playing dead while her group was being butchered. All of them. Which, granted, if she would have tried to do something, she would have been dead too. So there's not much she could have done. I think if we were all in her position, we probably would have done the exact same thing to try to save our ass. But yeah, she played dead, and she was the only one that survived the whole scavenger annihilation by Psycho Simon. And man, was Negan pissed at Simon. And Simon lied to Negan. Negan found out the truth. Yeah. That's when things started to fall apart between Simon and Negan. But Rick did realize he needed all the manpower he can muster if he was going to get Negan and the Saviors to surrender. So no matter how many times Jadis betrayed him and the communities, I think Rick realized deep down inside that she was not on the same level of a Negan or a Governor. She was just playing to her own interests. She was just playing to her own interests. And Rick saw that. And no matter how many times she betrayed him, he knew that he needed their support to try to get Negan and the Saviors to surrender. And we all know, at least we know now, that Rick was completely wrong in that whole siege that he laid upon the sanctuary. We all know that Negan, no matter what circumstance he was faced, he was never going to surrender. Okay? Negan was never going to surrender. He would have let the Saviors kill each other from hunger due to that Walker siege that Rick laid upon them. And as we saw earlier this season, he had a motorcycle stashed behind a wall if he ever needed to make a quick getaway. So Negan always thought several steps in advance. And he knew that if this place ever went down, I'm damn well going to have an exit plan. Summer writes, a Savior spit on her. I would have been mad. I would have been so mad. I remember that. Yeah. As she was laying dead on the ground, a Savior walks past her, and supposedly they think they're spitting on her dead body, but she was very much alive. Santiago on Instagram writes, I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I'm right there with you, Santiago. I would love to get Jeffrey Dean Morgan on this show. Oh, man, that would be awesome. Santiago goes on to write on Instagram, he's awesome and very charismatic. He is. Not just in his role of Negan. You guys need to go back and look at a lot of J.D. Morgan's previous work if you haven't already done so. He is an amazing actor. Amazing. Phenomenal, natural talent. He can play any role. And when he was handed the role of Negan, and the way that he was able to play that role and make us forget that in the comic books, every other word out of Negan's mouth was the F word, and after a short time make us just completely forget the comic book Negan and just put all our focus on the J.D. Morgan Negan. I mean, that's talent. That's talent. As an actor, that's talent. Sazchick writes, Jeffrey is awesome to meet. That is so cool, Saz, that you got to meet him. Now, I know you probably have pictures somewhere. So, Saz, if you do have pictures of you meeting J.D. Morgan, I would love for you to email them to me if you don't mind. And I will post them on our show here for other people to see. So if you do have those pictures of when you met J.D. Morgan, man, we would love to see them, and I will very gladly post them on this show for all our viewers to check out. I would love to do that. So, yeah. Now, like I said, he would have let the Saviors kill each other. He would have just made a quick stash getaway, and that would have been the end of that. Now, we only have just about 8 minutes left. I do want to touch upon another leader, and that's Ezekiel. Okay? Now, one of the things that has always fascinated me about Ezekiel, also known as the King, is how he never broke from the king persona that was created for him, not for the show, but by his community in the show, by his followers in the kingdom. And he held to that king character day and night. And we never saw him break character. And it was such an amazing moment when Carol meets him in the auditorium, and she was like, "You're the king? Okay." And he was talking her up like a king sitting on his throne. But later on, he realizes he wants Carol to stay with him. I think we know that he liked her. And that's the first time we saw him put the king persona to the side. And that's where we got to see the real Ezekiel. Talk to her as a human being, not as a character, the king. When they were sitting in that, I guess the garden in the kingdom, and they were chatting at night. And he was trying to convince her to stay in the kingdom. And he offered her a compromise and offered her the cottage just outside the kingdom. And offered her complete privacy, that nobody would bug you, and so on. But that was an amazing moment where we got to see him drop that whole character. Santiago also writes, also Princess. Yep, Princess is going to be an amazing character. Santiago loves Ezekiel. Summer loves Ezekiel. I love Ezekiel. You know, Santiago loves Princess. How can you not like the Princess character? We only got to see her for one episode so far, but is she going to be refreshing on this show? Absolutely. She's going to be a breath of fresh air. She's going to bring a comedic value to this show that we've never really had before. I love that scene when she killed those walkers with her machine gun. She's like, "Oh, damn, my bad. That cracks me up. But anyway, going back to Ezekiel, I guess it's true what they say. If you do something for a prolonged period of time, whether it's true or not, you start to believe the narrative that has been laid out for you. What we do know about Ezekiel Pre-Apocalypse was that he was raised in the Washington, D.C. area, and at a very young age, he did some community theater, which goes to explain how well he was at playing the role of the king. Summer writes, "Don't bullshit a bullshitter." That is what Ezekiel said to Carol. Yeah, I forgot that quote. That is what he said to her. TWD Soul joining us on YouTube. That's so true. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how many of you guys actually remember the little background that we did find out about Ezekiel. He did do community theater before he was a zoologist, or at least a zookeeper. Growing up in DC, he did community theater, which explains how he was so good at pulling off the whole king persona. And then, of course, we know he became a zookeeper, which is where he met his best friend, Shiva the tiger. Shiva was on the verge of dying. She was hurt, and he climbed over the fence and saved Shiva's life. And from that moment on, those two became best friends. Ismail writes, is it Shiva or Shiva? It's Shiva with a V. Shiva with a V. Yeah. So, but as is always in The Walking Dead, I always tell my son as we watch the show, there is never really a true happy ending in The Walking Dead. his whole king persona and his motto of, "Yet I smile," which Saz has tattooed on her wrist, by the way, was forever destroyed when the kingdom army was completely annihilated. And literally, just as he was about to announce victory over the outpost they were attacking in the Season 8 premiere, when they were taken down by the M2 machine guns. His whole army, with the exception of Carol, Jerry, and Ezekiel, they were all annihilated by those M2s, which is why they were going to the outpost in the first place. They knew they had the M2s over there, and they wanted them because they knew those M2s, if they were used on the community, it could end the war in a split second. It took out the kingdom in a split second. So that's why they were raiding that outpost, if any of you guys were questioning it, which I'm sure you guys figured out. It was to get those guns. And then, of course, Shiva sacrifices herself to save the king. And at that point, Ezekiel loses all optimism. He holds himself up in the auditorium, completely, distraught, hopeless. I don't know what other better word to use. Just looking back, and this was, I led those people to their death. He felt really guilty. He wasn't responsible. They knew exactly what they were doing. But as a leader, he was the one that had to walk back into the kingdom and look at all their families and tell them that, yeah, your loved one is dead. They're dead. That really sucks. Santiago, I also think the Savior mentions a bike reference. He writes, dude, that scene was tragic. Yeah, it was tragic. The whole kingdom was taken out, and from that point on, till we saw the king, that was like the beginning of the end for the kingdom. It does eventually fall. It does eventually fall. So, that wraps up at least the interesting leaders that I wanted to talk to you guys about. We have seen plenty more. I didn't get into the governor because we have discussed the governor so much. I did lightly touch on the crazy cop that killed Beth. And we've seen a lot of small groups throughout the 10 years, here and there. But I touched upon the ones that were really interesting in either a good or a bad way, really had a backstory to them, and so on. So guys, we're down to just our final 90 seconds. This hour just flies by every night. Let me bring up me and Marko's contact information. Email me at viz@deadtalklive.com. WhatsApp me at 650-308-4023. Email Marko, our producer, at marko@deadtalklive.com. And his WhatsApp number is 786-749-8257. I want to thank all you guys for joining me tonight. We are just tomorrow's episode, and then we have the Abraham interview on Thursday. We're super psyched. Thank you to Hard Productions. Thank you to Saz. Thank you to my producer, Marko, for coming up with these great topics. Thank you to Santiago, who's joined us tonight on Instagram and was very interactive with us. Summer, TWD Soul, Andrea on your Facebook. There's so many of you. All of you. Thank you, all of you, for watching. And until tomorrow, guys, stay walking.